Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Metro.kuk, Ukraine has launched one of its heaviest drone onslaughts of the 4-year war against Moscow, successfully breaching newly strengthened air defenses to inflict severe damage on the vital Kapotnya oil refinery, located just 10 miles from the Kremlin. The facility is crucial to the capital, supplying up to 40% of its overall fuel market and 70% of the petrol needs for Moscow and its surrounding region. The breakfast-time strike sent thick smoke billowing into the Moscow skyline, causing major disruptions, including the suspension of all flights at the city's 4 main airports. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin claimed that at least 60 drones were shot down, though he acknowledged the damage to the refinery. This strike comes as Ukraine's campaign against Russian oil infrastructure continues to cripple Russia's economy, with fuel shortages reported in dozens of regions. The escalation occurred while world leaders convened in France for the G7 summit, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy revealed that Vladimir Putin had once again rejected proposals for peace talks. According to a report by the Asahi Shimbun, G7 leaders have gathered in the French resort town of Evian-les-Bains for a summit focused on resolving major global crises. The packed agenda for the leaders' first full day includes challenging discussions on ending Russia's war in Ukraine and addressing the ongoing Middle East crisis. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is attending the summit at the invitation of the host nation, France. The talks on Ukraine follow an announcement by U.S. President Donald Trump regarding an agreement to end the months-long conflict against Iran, which has recently overshadowed other international issues. Trump stated that Washington will now shift its focus toward resolving the conflict in Ukraine. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron is working to convince Trump to maintain robust support for Ukraine and increase diplomatic pressure on Russia to achieve a peace agreement. The high-stakes summit also features specialized sessions dedicated to Middle East stability, with leaders from Egypt, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates joining the discussions to help restore security, particularly in the vital Strait of Hormuz. According to the Asahi Shimbun, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with Myanmar's military chief-turned-president Min Aung Hlaing in Beijing on Tuesday, endorsing his political leadership and mapping out the future development of bilateral relations. Min Aung Hlaing is currently on a 5-day state visit to China, marking his first trip to the country since formalizing his presidency following recent elections. During the meeting at the Great Hall of the People, the two leaders witnessed the signing of 18 cooperation memorandums, covering areas such as free trade, cross-border transportation, natural disaster assistance, health, and media. China remains one of the most critical foreign partners for Myanmar's military, which took power in a February 2022's February 21 crop. Analysts suggest that this state visit, which follows a previous meeting last August, signals a strengthening of bilateral ties with Beijing and represents a significant boost to the international legitimacy of the Myanmar leader's administration. According to JG Press, following the agreement between the United States and Iran to end their armed conflict, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has begun seriously considering the deployment of the Maritime Self-Defense Forces minesweeping units to the Strait of Hormuz. While a formal ceasefire is a mandatory prerequisite for Japan to dispatch its minesweepers, there remain many uncertainties, such as the exact number of naval mines laid in the strategic waterway. The Japanese government intends to make a cautious decision by maintaining close contact with Iran and other relevant nations, while closely monitoring whether the peace agreement is successfully implemented. Speaking to reporters in Rome ahead of her G7 summit attendance in France, Takaichi welcomed the U.S.-Iran deal as a major step toward resolving the conflict. In Tokyo, Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kihara noted that the agreement is expected to alleviate downside risks for both the Japanese and global economies. According to a report by Metro.co.uk, The international aid agency Oxfam has warned that the first line of defense against a rare and deadly Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has collapsed. The country is currently battling its largest ever outbreak of the rare Bundibugyo strain, with nearly 781 infections and 181 deaths recorded. Oxfam highlighted that critical water and sanitation infrastructure, along with contact tracing efforts, are at a breaking point. In the worst affected Ituri province, only 1 in 5 health centers has access to sufficient clean water, forcing residents to use mining-contaminated water. Furthermore, contact tracing coverage has dropped to just 43% due to severe funding shortfalls following the withdrawal of U.S. disease surveillance funds. Containment is further complicated by ongoing regional violence, displacement, and community mistrust, which has led to locals burning down isolation facilities. While there is currently no approved vaccine or treatment for the Bundibugyo strain, researchers at the Oxford Vaccine Group are working on an experimental vaccine using COVID-19 vaccine technology. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.